There we go. All right, welcome. Okay. I told my boss today, she said, happy Monday. And I said, I don't know. I decide at 5:35 every day or every Monday that I'm pretty sure it's going to be a happy Monday. So we're there. It's a happy Monday. We're ready to go. Starting in your comfortable seated position. As usual, that can be whatever floats your boat, wherever you'd like to be to get your practice started on the right foot for you this evening. And maybe that's just seated, legs crossed, maybe legs out long. Maybe you're in your child's pose, standing, wherever you'd like to be, just to kind of get moving in a way that serves you best. As we begin, bringing just a little bit of stillness to your body, trying to kind of move through and relax and release any of that big tension. If the shoulders or the jaw are feeling a little tense, maybe the fingers and toes could use a little wiggle. And then once you've kind of allowed that little bit of stillness and that relaxation, giving yourself just a moment to take your scan of the body, starting from the top of the head and moving to the tips of the toes. As you take that scan, noticing any of that tension, noticing any of those places or spaces that don't feel 110% today, are feeling some of that stress from the beginning of the week, from the end of the month, and also those places that feel particularly good. So hopefully there are some spots in your body that are feeling fresh from the weekend, maybe rested, maybe pleasantly sore from your weekend activities, whatever it may be. As always, all of that noticing is without any judgment. So what it is, and that's just to benefit your practice so that you can give yourself that leeway or that space or that extra challenge today. From there, I invite you to take any initial range or ranges of motion, any initial stretch that you know is going to feel particularly good for you. So when you take yourself into a class and you have a little bit of time before you get started, what's that one stretch that you know is just going to feel really good? That one range of motion that you know is really nice in your body, feels really nice for your specific points of tension. And we'll take just about 6 nice deep breaths in that initial stretch, ranges of motion, maybe play around with it if you're not sure what that stretch is for you. And taking just about 3 more nice deep breaths, finishing off that stretch, that range of motion, and then making your way back to your comfortable seated position or over to your comfortable seated position if that's not where you started today. When you get there and take your time making your way here, we're going to start off with our roll of the head and the neck. So your first inhale is going to find that super long spine out through the top of the head. Your exhale is going to drop your chin to your chest, lengthening through the back of the neck, and then nice and easy, we're just going to roll side to side. Right here towards that right shoulder, opening up through the left side of the neck. As always, you can reach down if that feels good. Exhale, drops the chin to the chest, and then inhale in that other direction. So when you make it there, when you start on that roll of the head and the neck, I invite you to just take it a couple times at your own pace in each direction. Find that nice stretch, maybe small range of motion here before you switch sides again. Maybe you like a little bit of a hold. And we'll take about 4 more nice deep breaths here. So maybe twice in each direction or maybe once in each direction, depending on the pace that you're moving. After that 4th nice deep breath, that second time in that second direction, or that first time in that second direction, exhale, drops the chin back to the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck one more time. And then inhale, lift that head back up nice and long, just resuming our regular good posture. Let's take 3 shoulder circles in each direction from there, up towards the ears, and then either down to the front or down to the back. 3 in that first direction, and then just switch it right up and go 3 in that second direction. So loosen the shoulders up a little bit. Loosen up that upper body. We've got some work in our chaturanga, so getting them ready to go. As soon as you finish that third, go ahead and release and relax the shoulders nice and low away from the ears. We'll take it to our lateral stretches. We're going to do 3s again. Let's do 3 in each direction. Take it at your own pace. Inhale takes the arms up. Exhale takes us down in that first direction. Finding, again, just that nice big reach. So I'm down with my right hand down, my left arm up over top, nice big reach with the left arm, left hip down. Let's go to that second direction. Inhale brings us through center. Exhale, other way. That nice reach with that opposite hand, and from here, twice more each direction. Go ahead and move a couple times at your own pace. And then after you hit that last time in each direction, that third time in each direction, we're gonna go right into our spinal twists. So after your last one, you can start right into that first side. So that final inhale brings you up. And then I'm going to take my left arm forward, my right arm behind. Left arm reaches the outside of that right leg. Right hand comes around behind the back. Open up through the chest. And this one, no specific count. Just I want you to move at your own pace, side to side. Arms can come high as you come through center, or they can trace low as you come through center. And then exhale in that other direction. And maybe you find a little bit more of a hold. Maybe you find one nice deep breath while you're there. Maybe you just find that exhale while you're there a couple times here. Excellent. And we're just going to go one more time in each direction. Feel free to find that third change of direction if you need to even out. And then when you're finished, bring it back to center. Relax those arms down and around. Whew. Alrighty. So now the first thing that's going to kind of start to bring us into our practice today is our flow is kind of going to be our sun salutation. I've upped the stakes just a little bit, added a little bit of extra in there, not a whole ton. So the flow will be pretty basic, but I want to start this first bit of class by incorporating some movements, incorporating some stretches, incorporating some strengthening movements, and working on our form a little bit on all the places that we'll hit throughout our sun salutation flow. So the first thing that we're going to do when we come into our flow is our forward fold. So let's get the lower body a little bit warmed up. We're going to start, this is the same as what we always do, is that half fold. So one foot on the inside, other foot out long. But when we're standing, it's going to be closer towards center. So I'm just going to bring my foot towards center. It changes the stretch. If you prefer to have it out a little bit, you can keep it there. If not, I'm right up at center. If you have that strap, if you have that assistance and you'd like to use it, that's fabulous. Let's start by just folding it down like you would into that regular forward fold. You can round out the spine. You can kind of let the head fall towards the knee and just opening up through the spine. Now, our next move, once we get into our flow, is going to be our halfway lift. So I want you to think about just lengthening the spine, not necessarily coming out of this, but finding your active core, your long spine, changes the profile of the stretch a little bit, focuses a little more on the back of the leg. We're going to come into and out of that twice more. Exhale, rounds the spine into that stretch, nice and deep, as low as you can go. Shin, ankle, fingertips, wherever you are is fabulous. Inhale comes to that kind of halfway lift. Traces it up a little bit, nice long spine. We're still hinged a little forward at those hips. Exhale back down into it. And then we're going to come one more time on this side. Our inhale brings us to that halfway lift, that active core. We'll pull that belly button in towards the spine. Fabulous. Exhale, rounds us down into it. Nice big stretch. That last time on this side. And then let's go ahead and pull it all the way out. We're just kind of releasing that stretch. We're going to switch sides. And then we're down the center. So switching those legs. Same thing. I'm just going to bring it a little closer towards my center line. And then we'll do that 3 times into and out of. So our first one, our nice big exhale, dives us down into it. Round out the spine. Maybe let the head and the neck relax and release down towards the knee. Take a moment in this stretch. Just kind of sink into it here. Fabulous. And let's find our nice, easy halfway lifts here. So same kind of concept. We're inhaling and just kind of bring it up. We're not taking that full hinge out. So I'm not moving from here back up to seated. I'm moving from my nice deep stretch into just kind of halfway up, finding my long spine. And then go ahead and exhale, sink back into it. We're going to do that twice more. So we're still a little hinged at the hips as we come to that just lengthened spine, that active core. And exhale back into it. And then one more time, last time into that halfway lift. Find that little stretch. And then bring it last time back down into it. So reaching towards the shin, the ankle, the toes. Very nice. And then just go ahead and release, roll it all the way up this time, release that stretch, and we're going to go right down center, same concept. So finding those legs out nice and long. I'm going to start with an inhale to take my arms up because that's what we would do in our standing position. You can just roll it right down if you'd prefer, but taking it up and then rounding it into that forward fold, trying to find that release and relax, opening up the spine just like you would in that full fold. Letting those vertebrae kind of separate, that nice stretch through the lower back, the upper back, open the shoulder blades. Here we go. This time we're going to take just 2 halfway lifts. So inhale, just kind of rolls us up halfway. Again, I'm not coming completely out of it. I'm not sitting up tall. I'm just coming to a spot where I can have my spine long. And then exhale just to release back into it. So I'm not unhinging my hips here at all. I'm not coming up out of it. I'm just one more time finding our inhale to our halfway lift. And I feel this a lot more intensely through the backs of my legs, through the hamstrings. And then the last time, exhale down into that nice deep stretch there. And then just go ahead and find that stretch as low as you can go, relaxing the spine, relaxing the backs of the legs. Taking an extra moment here. And whenever your next inhale is, just go ahead and roll back up out of it. All right, now if your lower back is kind of a limiting factor for that hinge, for that stretch, we're going to stretch it out a little bit with our seated cat and cow here. So bending the knees and planting the feet, that takes all the stretch out of those hamstrings. So we're not focusing on the legs here. We're focusing on the spine, and you can walk them out a little further so you have a little more space depending on your flexibility. Let's start by hinging it back, hands behind the hips, open through the chest, pressing the belly forward, so rounding out in that opposite direction. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll it forward. So I'm going to walk my fingertips forward. Again, I want this stretch to be through my back, and I'm opening up. Now, my lower back is feeling pretty flexible today, so I can take it down a little bit further, but I don't want to feel any of this stretch through the legs. I do want it to just be through the back, opening up those shoulder blades. Very nice. And then we'll just come out of this and into it one more time. So opening up, hands behind the hips, pressing the chest open, pull the shoulder blades together, just kind of counter stretch there. And then one more time, go ahead and pull it forward, open up the shoulder blades, round out that spine towards that back wall. And if you don't really feel the stretch, again, you can kind of walk it a little further forward, but making sure we're not stretching through the lower body here, just through the back. Very nice. Let's go ahead and bring it right out of it. Just sit it up nice and tall. Bring it over to hands and knees up next. Pulling on over, and we're going to work towards our downward facing dog and focus on what should be happening there. But first, hands and knees, we're going to get a little lower body stretch. From this positioning, we're going to take that right foot back as if we were going to press into a plank. Place those toes down on the mat. That heel is pressed back, and we're just going to find that little press towards the back wall and then release off of it. So press your heel back, find that calf stretch, and then press back off of it. Now, if this isn't super intense and you're feeling okay with those wrists today, you can take it right into our little bit more intensive version where we're also going to press those hips up and back as we come up. I'm lifting that knee off of the mat, and then I'm coming back just to rest and release. So that provides a little bit deeper of a stretch for that calf. Is just lifting those hips up. It gives me a little bit more range of motion for the heel. If the wrists are feeling off today, just stick to that press front to back. Very nice. And if you stuck to that lower intensity version, we're just going to come into that stretch one time here. So all I want you to do is go ahead and press those hips up, float that left knee up off the mat, press that right heel down, keep the left knee low, press those ears between the biceps, calf stretch. From here, I'm going to take my left foot and just circle it around behind my ankle for a little bit more support. I'm changing that stretch from my plain calf muscle to my piriformis, so different muscle in my calf by just slightly bending my right knee, my supporting knee, and then pressing that heel down again. So it changes the profile of that stretch. I'm still stretching my right leg, my bottom leg. I've got that heel just over for a little bit more support, so I'm not balancing quite as much, and that knee is bent while we press it back. And then let's just go ahead and switch sides. So go ahead and place that right knee down, that left knee down. If the wrists need a second, give them a second. And then go ahead and come to that left side. So left leg presses back as if we were going into that plank, pressing that heel back, releasing off of it, finding that nice stretch, getting us ready for that super intense down dog. Doing a couple of those. And then once again, if that's not a super intense stretch for you, if the calves are pretty loose, then you can add that little bit extra of a lift and lower for a couple here. Very nice. And then one more there. If you were not finding that lift and lower, go ahead and bring it up and meet me there. Super intense stretch by just pressing those hips up and back, that heel down. And then we're going to change it to that piriformis. So I'm using that opposite ankle as support. And all I'm doing to change the profile of this stretch is bending that left knee that's supporting me. So that changes that calf muscle that we're using in that stretch. It's not the piriformis. I'm blanking on what the word is, but the other one. Here we are. All right, now let's go ahead and place those knees down. We're gonna hit our puppy just to stretch out, give those wrists a little bit of a break. Hips are over knees, walk those hands out, press the chest down. Helping on that chest opener here. The forehead can meet the mat if you'd like. Just taking a moment there before we take it into our downward facing dog. All right, then let's make that move to our full downward facing dog, planting those hands, curling those toes under, pressing those hips up and back. We're gonna take a little pause when we get there. So you can start by pedaling out those heels. If those calves are still feeling a little bit tight, the muscle is gonna come to me in 45 minutes, right as soon as we log off. It's gonna bother me. Whew, okay, all right, so from here, I want us to think a little bit about form. First, we're gonna start from those hands. Now, I want you to make sure that all 10 fingers are pressed into the mat. We're nice and solid. All of the weight is not in that wrist. So we do have a little bit of weight through the rest of the palm, through all 10 of those fingers. We're spreading that weight out so it's not all pressing down into that wrist. We're pressing that chest back towards the thighs and kind of bring those ears towards the biceps. If that doesn't feel very good, you can keep it a little bit more floated if you'd like, but we're working towards pressing it down, and that's what that puppy pose is gonna open for us. Those hips are pressed up and back, and that core is super active. So this isn't a relaxing stretch. This isn't a resting pose. We're keeping it nice and active all the way down to those toes. So pulling the quads up and in, giving those calves that nice stretch, and grounding those toes into the mat. Now, one more thing I want you to think about in this downward facing dog before we move it on is I want you to be actively pulling the hands and the feet towards each other. Now, they aren't going to move because they're pressed into the ground, but to create that activation, they're kind of pulling as if we were going to scrunch our mat up in the center. That creates more activation through the shoulders, a little more work through the core, and through those legs. Very nice. Let's take it down to our child's pose. Knees wide, hips back towards the heels. Give those wrists and those shoulders a little break. All right, up next, we're gonna work towards that Cobra. So let's go ahead and bring those hips up, pull those knees underneath, press the hips down. We're in our Cobra or our baby Cobra, wherever your starting position is for that. Baby Cobra with those elbows bent, full Cobra with those arms nice and long, little stretch for the back, for the front side body. All right, now if you feel okay in your full Cobra, working towards that upward facing dog tonight. So the difference between our Cobra and our upward facing dog is we're gonna do a little bit more of active work in our up dog. I'm placing the tops of those feet down on the mat. I'm still having those arms nice and long and the chest nice and pulled forward, but I'm gonna float those thighs up off of that mat. Now from here, I want you to make sure that if you do that, you have your active core just like we do every time before we turn it over and bring it up and back. So I'm not just letting it float. I'm not letting all that pressure through my lower back. We've got our nice active core here. So it's core work, it's thigh work, because those are nice and active to float. If you did pick up, go ahead and lower back down to that Cobra, and then bring it down to the mat. Give your wrists and chest a little bit of a break here, and the upper and lower back. All right, we're gonna press into and out of our up dog twice more. If you're not feeling that up dog tonight, you can just press down towards the mat and into that Cobra or baby Cobra instead. Plant those toes, plant the tops of those feet, plant those hands, all 10 fingers, press the chest up, activate the core, and then float those thighs. So just those hands and the tops of those feet are meeting if you're in that up dog. With your next exhale, whenever it comes, go ahead and set those thighs back down, lower it back down. We're coming into it just one more time. So when you're ready, planting those hands, planting the tops of those feet, press the chest up, activate the core when you get there, pull it in, nice and tight, protect the lower back, and then float those thighs. Very nice. Next exhale sets it down, brings it down. All right, awesome. We're gonna come up into our modified plank position from here. So I'm gonna have my knees down on that mat, but I've got a nice long position from my knees up to my shoulders. Now, whether you are a seasoned pro and you are excellent at your planks, or whether you are a little bit weaker in the upper body and you're working on your planks and your chaturangas, I want you to start with those knees down. We're going to perfect that form a little bit for our chaturanga. Now, when we hit our chaturanga, the first thing we're going to find is that high push-up plank position or our low push-up plank position right here. Then we're going to float those shoulders a little bit further forward. Bend those elbows, and they're going to go straight back. It's almost like a tricep push-up, and nice and controlled until you meet that mat. From there, we're going to take it right back up. So exhale, keep those knees down, tricep push-up, press us back up. Press this back up. We wouldn't do that in our normal flow, but we're working on those triceps here. All right, so twice more, we're going to come all the way down to the mat, and then we'll change it up a little bit. Super slow and controlled, as slow as you can. Knees down, elbows go straight back. Triceps are working, spine is working, upper back is working. Meet the mat and release. And then exhale, presses us back up. We're going to do that one more time. If you feel great about your tricep push-ups or your chaturanga and you want to increase that challenge, you are welcome to take it up to that high push-up plank for this third one. So again, still those shoulders are going to float a little bit forward. We're going to bend those elbows. They're going to go straight back. And as slow as you can, you're going to come down to the mat. All right. Now we're going to do twice more. So give yourself a little roll of those wrists. Our goal in this is for the chest not to meet the mat before we hit our cobra, our baby cobra, or our up dog. So we're going to pause almost at the very bottom of our, wow, words are so hard. I'm so sorry. We're going to pause almost at the very bottom of our chaturanga. So we're going to lower until there's 1, 2, or 3 inches right underneath our chest. And then if you can, press up into that cobra or that up dog. So a little more upper body activation. That's why we're practicing these push-ups. Our goal is to bring it down 1, 2, or 3 inches here. And I'm going to press into it, keep that core active, turn the tops of those feet to meet. We're just going to do that twice, and then we'll give that upper body a break because we are going to come into it a lot during our practice. So toes or knees, as always. Starting with that chaturanga, lowering down as slowly as we can. Elbows go back. When you're 1, 2, or 3 inches, however low you can get, pause, and then press right up into that cobra, baby cobra, up dog. Very nice. Let's go ahead and take it one more time into that plank or that high push-up plank, that modified plank or that high push-up plank. Last time you have to do this, and then we'll give that upper body a break. Here we go. We're lowering it down. As soon as you hit that point when you just can't get any lower without bringing it all the way to the mat, press it up. Whew. All right, nice. Now let's press those hips back, those knees nice and wide. Give me that child's pose. Give that lower back a nice little break. Give the chest, the shoulders a little break, the triceps a little stretch. Maybe roll out the wrists a little bit while you're back there. Alrighty, I only have 2 more things that we're going to do to get us ready for this flow, and then we will get moving. We will get our heart rates up for the last 10 minutes of this first practice, and the last 30 minutes if we're hitting that full practice. Here we go. So we're going to take it up to our I'm really struggling with the words tonight. Crescent lunge is what we're going for. I'm going to go through my downward facing dog. Plant those hands, lift the hips, curl the toes under, press the hips up and back. Take a moment in that down dog. We're going to take it through our 3-legged dog and then press it forward. If that transition is not working for you tonight, feel free to send those knees down, sweep it forward, and then lift to that crescent. If it is right leg, 3-legged dog, press it up, bend the left knee, sweep it forward, ankle under knee. Take your time getting there. Find your balance, find your core, nice and strong through that front foot, sweep it up. All right, here, same thing as we did with that downward facing dog. We're gonna spend a couple moments in this crescent lunge. We're gonna think a little bit about form, and then we're gonna get moving. We're gonna get our heart rates up a little bit. So first thing that we're gonna think about is that right knee, that front knee is bent. Now we wanna work on that 90-degree angle if we can, but if you're not quite at that 90-degree angle, you're in a little bit closer, you're up a little higher, that's fine. But I do want that tension on that front leg, so it is working. Next, I want to think about that back leg. If your hip flexor is a little bit tight, maybe your knee's a little bit bent, that is totally fine. If you can, we're working towards lengthening that back leg just a little bit more every time that we come into this pose. Upper body, in this full crescent lunge, our torso is going to be nice and tall, our arms are going to be nice and long. I do want you to keep those shoulders relaxed away from the ears because we want our lats to be pulled down and kind of tucked in our back pockets. So our lats are the muscles right back here. Rather than them reaching up, we want to pull them down. We want to keep our back nice and active. And as always, we've got our active core. So even though that's active, we're not pressing our belly forwards. We're not rounding that spine out. We're nice and active. We're protecting the lower back. Very nice. We're going to transition to our other side in just a moment. Bear with me. Start in this position here. All right, now same thing. One more final little thing. Same thing that we did for that downward facing dog. We're kind of going to pull towards the center with those feet. So they're not actually going to move, but as if we could get them to move, we're pressing down and pulling in. So we've got that nice active back quad, that nice active right leg, and we're nice and balanced. Very good. All right, let's fold it forward. You can step the right back to our down dog or the left forward to your forward fold. Either way, we're switching legs. So whichever one you would prefer to do for that transition, switch those legs, bring that left forward. Find your balance, find your core, sweep it up. Or that second side forward if you started on that other way. Now, again, traveling through, we've got that nice front foot, that nice bend in that left knee. Right leg is long if it can be. If you need that little bend because that hip flexor is tight, that's fine. Lats are pulled down into our back pockets, even though those arms are up nice and tall, and core is active. We're protecting that lower back. Now from there, we're activating even more by pulling those feet towards each other. So that heel and those toes kind of coming in towards center. Very nice. Let's fold it forward. Step that right foot forward to meet the left. Forward fold. Inhale is going to take us all the way up and back down if that's okay with you. If you prefer to stay low, you can stay in this fold. We're getting into our flow. So inhale is going to take us all the way up. And exhale is going to take us back into that fold. Fingertips towards the toes. All right, here's all that work that we did on that forward fold. Nice and flexible. Same way, thinking about rounding out the spine, relaxing the upper body. Nice lower body stretch. Let's find our single halfway lift for this one. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine. That nice active core. Exhale, folds us forward. Right foot's going to step back nice and long for our crescent. Toe down, heel up. Bend that left knee, sweep those arms up. Work your way through that activation pattern. Think front leg, think back leg, think core, think lats, and then pull those feet towards each other for that super active crescent lunge. Again, not a resting pose here. This is an active pose. Very nice. We're folding it forward, stepping through our forward fold to our other side. So fingertips come down. Right foot steps forward to meet the left. And then left foot's going to step back nice and long. So same thing on that second side. Toe down, heel up. Find your balance. Sweep it up. Work through that activation pattern. Right leg, left leg. Pull those legs together. Lats are in our back pockets. Fabulous. Fold it forward. This time right steps back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Whew. All right, very nice. Here comes the big one with that chaturanga, all that work that we just did. Elbows are going to go back. If you can, we're going to turn it over before we hit the floor. So go ahead and float those shoulders out over those wrists. As always, from the toes or the knees, whichever serves you better. Elbows go straight back as we come through that chaturanga. If you can, right before you hit, turn it over, press the chest up, cobra or upward facing dog. Keep that core nice and active, especially in that up dog. Turn those toes over, press those hips up and back down dog. All right, we're going to do the reverse of that transition that we did. We're going to do our crescent twice more, but this time it's going to initiate from the down dog. So right leg, three-legged dog, presses us up. Bend the left knee, sweep the right leg forward, plant it down, sweep it up into crescent. Find that good form. Very nice. Let's switch sides through our down dog again. Fold it forward. Right goes back to meet the left. Left leg three-legged. Bend the right knee, sweep the left leg forward. Plant it down. Find your balance, find your core, sweep it up. Nice and active here. Very good, very good, very good. Go ahead and fold it forward. Left leg goes back to meet the right, downward facing dog. One more time before we switch it up, we're going to go back through our low flow. We've got that chaturanga, that up dog or that cobra, and then back to that down dog. Take your time, work your way through it. Shoulders out over wrists, toes or knees. Elbows go back. We lower almost all the way down and then we press up. If you have to come to the floor, that is totally fine, but we're working towards it. Turn those toes over, activate the core, press the hips up and back. From here, we're making our way back to that forward fold. Bend those knees, walk, step, or hop those feet forward to meet those hands in our forward fold. We're going to do that same thing that we did all the way up and all the way back down in one breath. If you want to stay low, stay low. If that's going to bother your head, here we go. Inhale can bring you all the way up to our extended mountain if you'd like. Exhale brings us right back down into that fold. Let's take that halfway lift. Flat back, long spine, active core. Exhale down into that fold. Crescent, right leg's going to step back nice and long. Toe down, heel up, find your balance, sweep it up. Nice active crescent. Think about all those things, whichever cue that I've given you that's really helped you find that super active positioning. Think about that, bring it into it. Fold it forward. Right steps forward to meet the left, forward fold. Same thing, second side. Left goes back nice and long. Find your balance, sweep it up. Nice activation. Pull those feet towards each other. Pull those lats into your back pockets. Excellent work. Fold it forward. This time, move to that downward facing dog. Right goes back nice and long to meet the left. We've got our low flow coming up next through that Chaturanga, up dog or Cobra, and then back to that down dog. Take your time. Get it moving. Shoulders over wrists, toes or knees. Lower it down. If you can, turn it under right before you hit that mat. Activate the core. Turn the toes over. Press the hips up and back. All right, now we've got that opposite transition back to those crescents. Once again, right foot, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee, sweep the right leg forward. Ankle under knee, use that assist if you need it. Find your balance, find your core, sweep it up. Great work, you guys. All right, let's switch those sides, back through that down dog. Fold it forward. Right goes back to meet the left. Left goes three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, sweep it forward. Find your balance, sweep it up. Nice and active on that second side. Excellent, fold it forward. We've got one more low flow here coming at us. Left goes back to meet the right, down dog. All right, let's take it out. Chaturanga, up dog or Cobra, back to that down dog. Take your time, toes or knees for your Chaturanga as always. And don't forget to activate that core before you turn it over. Excellent work. We're going to take a brief break in our child pose or another resting pose, whatever is appropriate for you this evening. I'm going to grab a sip because I've been talking for the last 34 minutes straight. You haven't gotten a chance for any silence. So I will give you that now while we take whatever resting position works for you. Then go ahead and take 2 more nice deep breaths wherever you are. In the interest of keeping our heart rates up a little bit, we are going to go one more time through in our first 40 minutes. And then we will finish off very nice. When you finish that second nice deep breath, we're making our transition back to our forward fold. You are welcome to make it however works best for you. So if you're in that child's pose, lift the hips, curl the toes under, step or hop the feet forward. If you are already standing, you took a break somewhere else, feel free to make your way there in whatever way serves you best. Alrighty, here we go. One more time through. Again, you can stay low if you'd like, or you can come all the way up and back down with that inhale and exhale. Go ahead and get it moving with that inhale. If you are coming up, roll it all the way up, arms up overhead. And then big exhale brings us back into that fold. Halfway lift with our inhale to that flat back, that long spine, that super active core. Exhale back into that fold. All right, here we go. Crescent, step that right foot back nice and long, toe down, heel up, find your balance. Left knee is bent, sweep it up. Nice strong core. Think about that activation pattern. Pull those shoulders down low, away from the ears. Pull the legs towards each other. Very nice. Let's switch sides. Fold it forward. Right steps forward. Left steps back. Find your balance. Sweep it up. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Let's take it into our down dog. Fold it forward. Right goes back to meet the left this time. Pressure through all 10 fingers. Nice active down dog. So keep that core engaged here. Alrighty, let's take it through that Chaturanga to our Cobra, up dog. Take your time. Shoulders over wrists, toes or knees. Elbows go straight back. If you can, turn it over right before you touch. Active core if you're in that up dog. And then turn those toes over. Hips up and back, down dog. Crescent from our down dog. Here we go. Right foot, three-legged dog. Press it up. Little stretch. Bend the left knee. Sweep the right leg forward. Make an adjust if you need to. Find your balance. Sweep it up. Nice active crescent lunge here. Fabulous. Let's fold it forward. Switch sides through that down dog. Right goes back to meet the left. Left leg, three-legged dog. Then the right knee, sweep the left leg forward, plant it down, find your balance, sweep it up. Nice active crescent on the second side. Fabulous. Let's fold it forward one more time through that low flow. Left goes back to meet the right. Down dog. Here comes our chaturanga. Toes or knees. Float those shoulders out over those wrists. Bring it down nice and controlled. When you're ready, press it up, cobra or up dog, or baby cobra. Active core. Turns the toes over. Presses the hips up and back. Down dog. Very nice. Send those knees down wide, hips back towards the heels. Child's pose. If it feels good for you, walk those hands over to that right side of that mat. Nice stretch to the left side body. If that does not feel good, feel free to keep it right down center. And if you did find that right side and it felt okay, go ahead and bring it through center over to the left. And if you found that left, go ahead and bring it back to center. And then we're going to bring it up and over to our comfortable seated position. So go ahead, walk it in. However you'd like to transition to your comfortable seat. I'm just going to send my hips down and circle my legs around. Maybe you prefer to be on those shins. If you prefer to be somewhere a little bit different, we're going to finish with 2 more nice deep breaths for the end of our first 40 minutes together. Here we go. Lead with those arms. Your next inhale takes us up. And exhale brings us down. And the second one, those palms meet up overhead. Inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. As always, if you're sticking around, same link, same information. If not, thank you for being here. The light in me honors the light in you. Bowing as we say, namaste. And I hope to see you next time. Alrighty. So to get this one started, you know what the flow is going to be. So if there is any kind of stretch that something that was bothering you, something that was weird, if some of those chaturangas gave you a little bit of bother in your wrist, maybe it's some circles, maybe it's some up and down, if it's the shoulders or the triceps, one of those stretches, some shoulder circles, and if those folds are bothering you or if those down dogs are bothering you, just taking a moment or two here and just finding that stretch that's going to really serve you. If it's that crescent lunge in the quads, and maybe it's a quad stretch. And we'll just take about 4 nice deep breaths here just to get us started like that. And then we will get grooving again, get our heart rates back up, go back into that kind of modified sun salutation flow that we were working with in our last meeting. So I know we started kind of slow tonight, but keeping it grooving to even it out and get our workout in, our yoga workout. Alrighty, so finishing off wherever you're at, whatever stretch you're working on, and making your way back to the top of your mat. Giving yourself a moment to reset in your mountain pose. As always with that mountain pose, if you like those feet under those hips, that's fabulous. Maybe a little wider, maybe a little narrower, depends on where your comfortable standing position is. Working your way up the body, we've got nice contact through the bottoms of those feet. We've got nice active quads, a nice active core, pulling it in nice and tight. And then that lower back is nice and protected. Shoulders low away from the ears, maybe a slight lift of the chin. And we're going to start off with 3 nice deep breaths. Our third will take us into our forward fold. We're going to lead with those arms. That inhale takes us out and up. Nice stretch at the top. And then exhale brings the arms down and around. 2 more. Inhale takes us up. Exhale brings the arms down. And then our third one's going to take us into that fold. So our inhale takes us up. Exhale brings us nice and easy into that forward fold. Fingertips towards the shins, the ankles, the toes, the mat. Find that nice little stretch there. Very nice. Let's take our halfway lift. Inhale to that flat back, that long spine, that nice active core. Exhale takes us back into that fold. Alrighty, crescent lunge is coming up next. Here, takes that right foot back nice and long, toe down, heel up. Left knee is bent, active core. Find your balance, sweep it up. All right, think about that activation pattern once again for me, not losing focus on that. Shoulders nice and low, legs pulling towards each other. Left knee is bent. Let's switch those sides. Hold it forward. Right steps forward to meet the left. And then we switch it up. Left leg steps back nice and long, toe down, heel up, find your balance, find your core, sweep it up. Nice and active here. Fabulous. Let's go ahead and bring it down and take it into our downward facing dog. Right foot steps back to meet the left. Taking a moment there, find that activation pattern, that chest presses back, those ears between the biceps, that nice stretch for the backs of those legs, but our active core takes us into our low flow. Go ahead and initiate with that shoulders over wrist, high push-up plank position, toes or knees brings us down into that chaturanga, as low as you can go, and then right before you hit the bottom, go ahead and turn it over, press it up, cobra, baby cobra or up dog, activate the core, turn the toes under, press the hips up and back. As always, keeping that lower back nice and protected through that transition. Here we go, those crescents from that opposite side. Right foot presses up and back, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee, sweep the right leg forward. Plant it down, ankle under knee. Use the assist if you need to. Balance, core, sweep it up. Shoulders nice and low. Fabulous. Let's switch those sides. Fold it forward. Right goes back to meet the left. Down dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, sweep the left leg forward. Plant it down, find your balance, sweep it up. Fabulous, fabulous. Let's take it back down to that downward facing dog. Fold it forward. Left goes back to meet the right. And here comes that second low flow series of this one. So let's go ahead and float those shoulders out over those wrists. Toes or knees, we lower down. Elbows stay close, chaturanga. Press the chest up, cobra or up dog. Activate our core, protect the lower back, turn the toes under, press the hips up and back, down dog. Bend those knees, step, walk, or hop those feet forward to meet those hands, forward fold. Let's add a little extra challenge into this one. Let's take it up into our chair pose. Sweep those arms up, send those hips back, bend those knees. Nice, long, strong core. Lower back is protected, so as always, we're not rounding out the lower back. We want it to be nice and long. Nice bend in those knees. And as always, if those arms can come to those ears, that's fine. But if that bothers the shoulders, keep them out in front a little bit. Next exhale, forward fold. Wherever your next exhale is, go ahead and release that. Hips up high, fingertips down low. All right, same as before. With your inhale and exhale, you can stay right here or you can roll it all the way up and all the way back down. Just depends on how you're feeling this evening, how the head is. Don't want anyone to feel dizzy by coming up and back down too quickly. When you get there, go ahead and find that nice easy forward fold, that nice big lower body stretch. Hopefully you're feeling a little more flexible than you were at the start of this. Let's take our halfway lift. Flat back, long spine, active core. Exhale back into that fold. Right leg steps back, crescent lunge. Nice and active here. Nice strong core, nice low shoulders. Very good. Let's switch sides through our forward fold. Fold it down, right steps forward to meet the left. And then left steps back nice and long. Find your balance, sweep it up. Fabulous. Let's take it to our downward facing dog from there. Fold it forward. Plant those hands. Step that right back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Excellent. Let's take our low flow here. Shoulders over wrists. High push-up plank position. Toes or knees lowers us down. Press the chest up. Cobra or up dog. Turn those toes under. Activate that core. Press those hips up and back. Down dog. All right, opposite side, taking us into that crescent. Right foot, three-legged dog, press it up and back. Bend the left knee, sweep that right leg forward, plant it down. Find your balance, sweep it up, crescent. Fabulous, let's switch those sides. Fold it forward, plant those hands. Right goes back to meet the left. Left takes us three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, sweep it forward. Plant the left down. Find your balance, sweep it up. Excellent. Let's take it low for our final low flow here of this one. Hold it forward. Left goes back to meet the right, down dog. Nice active down dog here. Nice strong core. Let's take it through that chaturanga. Here we go. Shoulders over wrists. Toes or knees. Nice and controlled. Lower it down. Press it up. Whew. Very nice. Activate that core. Turn those toes under. Press those hips up and back. Down dog. Bend those knees. Step or hop or walk those feet forward to meet those hands. Forward fold. And let's add that chair in again for that little bit of extra lower body work here. Sweep those arms up. Send those hips back. Bend those knees. Nice active core. With your next exhale, whenever it may be, go ahead and fold it forward, fingertips towards the toes. Alrighty, let's initiate one final time. We're taking it all the way up and back down if that feels okay. If not, stay low. Inhale takes us up. Exhale brings us back into our fold. Let's take our halfway lift with your next inhale to that flat back, that long spine, that super active core. And then that following exhale, fold it forward. Fabulous. Crescent, right foot, steps back long, toe down, heel up, left knee bent. Find your balance, sweep it up. Let's switch those legs, fold it forward. Right steps forward to meet the left. Left steps back into our crescent, other side. Find your balance, sweep it up. Very nice. Nice and active through that one. Let's take it down to our downward facing dog. Fold it forward. Right steps back to the left. Down dog. Nice active down dog here. Let's take our low flow here. Shoulders out over wrists. High push-up plank. Toes or knees. Chaturanga. As low as you can go. And then press it up. Activate the core. Turn the toes over. Press the hips up and back. And one more time here. Let's take that crescent lunge from this backside. So right foot, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee. Sweep that right foot forward. Use that assist if you need it. Find your balance. Sweep it up. All right, nice and active. Pull those feet towards each other. Let's take it to that other side. Fold it forward. Right back to the left. Down dog. Switch those sides. Left leg, three leg. Bend the right knee. Sweep it forward. Plant it down. Ankle underneath. Find your balance. Sweep it up. Nice and active on this one. Keep that core pulled in. Keep those shoulders pulled low. Fabulous. Let's fold it forward. Take it back to our downward facing dog one more time. Let's take that low flow. Here we go. Shoulders out over wrists. Toes or knees. Chaturanga takes you as low as you can go right before you meet the mat. And then press it up. Cobra up dog. Turn those toes over. Activate the core. Press it up, back down dog. And for good measure, because it is our final time through, let's take it one more time through that low flow, nice and controlled. Here we go. Shoulders over wrists. Toes or knees, as slow as you can go down to that mat for your chaturanga. Take it super controlled. And then when you're right about to hit that mat, press it up. Last time. Activate that core, turn those toes under, press those hips up and back, down dog. And then once again, to finish us off strong, we're going to take it through that chair. So step, hop, or walk those feet forward to meet those hands. Forward fold. Chair pose, sweeps our arms up, sends our hips back. All right, making this one a challenge here. Find that nice solid chair. Find that super active core. Pull that belly button in. Keep that spine nice and long. Same way as we are with our crescent lunge. I want those shoulders to be pulled in, our lats to be nice and active. So we're not taking them up nice and high. We're pulling them down. Very nice. Give me one more nice deep breath wherever you are here. With your exhale, can you get just a tiny bit lower? One more inhale. Exhale, fold. Very nice, very nice. Alrighty, we're gonna gently step it back to our down dog. So I want you to go ahead and bend those knees, plant those hands, step those feet back, press those hips up and back. Then from there, let's take those knees down nice and wide, those big toes nice and close together, and those hips back towards those heels. Once again, if it feels okay, you can walk those hands over that right side. Find that nice stretch. If it doesn't feel okay, keep them right down center. And if that did feel good, let's take it to that opposite direction. And then bring it on back to center. And we're just going to hit a little lower body stretch here just to finish this off. So I want you to kind of bring it up to that hands and knees position. Then I'm going to use this to transition to our low lunge. So walking over to one side, circle that right leg around forward or left if that's better for you here. Left knee or bottom knee stays on the mat and then pressing it forward into that low lunge. As always, whichever low lunge works better for you. So if you like to bring those hands down inside and this feels good, you can find that. If you prefer to be up a little higher, turn those hips underneath a little bit and press it forward for that stretch. That's also fabulous here. We're focusing on that left, that bottom hip flexor, the front side of the leg, that quad. And let's take our hamstring stretch just once here. Send those hips back towards that heel. Lengthen that front leg. Lift those toes. Hinge at the hips. And last time into that low lunge on this side. Press it forward. Again, either of those options is fabulous. And then we're going to switch it up. So planting those hands. Circle the right leg around. Plant that knee. And then opposite side is going to come forward. Same thing here. Either of those two low lunge options is fabulous. Let's take it back for that hamstring stretch. And one more time into that low lunge. Let's find our hands and knees one more time. When you get there, let's take a couple of cats and cows. Inhale, belly towards the floor, hips and the chin lifts if that feels okay. Exhale, spine rounds up towards the ceiling, tuck the chin underneath and those hips underneath. Open up the shoulder blades just a couple times with your breath, however fast or slow it's moving here. One more nice deep breath in our cat and cow. When you finish, bring that spine back to neutral and make your way on over to that comfortable seated position. Alrighty. As you make your way back to that comfortable seat, we are going to finish off once again with just two nice deep breaths. The second one, those palms will meet up overhead, relieving with those arms. Here we go for that first nice deep breath. Inhale takes us up. Nice stretch long away from center, and then exhale brings us down. One more here, palms meet overhead on this one. Inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Thank you so much, as always, for practicing with me on this Monday evening. I hope it made your day a little bit better. I know today it did for me, for sure. Have a fabulous rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. The light in me honors the light in you, bowing as we say, namaste.